1,500 years old.
Right.
I mean, I know you know that theory.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
is a crazy theory that sounds so. It sounds completely wackadoo. Mm-hmm. But then when you have it laid out to you, Christopher, what's his last name?
Dunn. Christopher Dunn. I just had
Dunn.
him on my podcast a few weeks ago.
I just had him a couple weeks ago, too.
Yeah.
I just had a brain fart. His depiction of the mechanisms that would be involved in turning this giant structure into some sort of a power plant, you hear about it and you go, wait a minute, whoa.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And him and I have very similar theories on how the power generation occurred. And I believe that the Nile, when it used to run up close to the pyramids, and the water would run underneath the pyramid, and that would create something called physiostatic electricity as it ran underneath that magnetized crystal granite. Those ions would pour up into the chamber, move up the grand gallery where there used to be resonating rods, where you can see the slots where the rods used to be. They're removed now, but the slots are still there. Then it would be pushed into the king's chamber where it would be amplified and some type of fusion would take place, then forced up through the apex, and then the crystal granite obelisks around the region would capture that ambient wireless electricity. And then if you had something called a JED, which looks like a Tesla coil, you can capture that energy and you can transfer it into a device for gold electroplating, for any other electrical tools you need, like some of the tools they had to have used to create some of these incredible works of art. We can see the tool mark, so we know they had the tools. But they had wireless electricity way back then.
The interesting thing about the Amazon, Joe, is it's been grievously misunderstood over the years, and fortunately archaeology is beginning to come to terms with it. There was agriculture in the Amazon, going back a very long way, going back at least 10,000 years, maybe further. And we may have discussed this before, but there's this curious soil that exists in the Amazon that they call terra preta, or Amazonian dark earth. Recent investigations have shown without doubt that it's man-made and deliberately man-made, not an accidental result of refuse tips, but a deliberate attempt to make the Amazon fertile.
And how do they know that it's deliberate?
Because they find in it the same ingredients, and amongst those ingredients are always broken bits of ceramics. That's one of the odd things. They seem to be part of what makes it work.
Really?
Yeah. Ceramics mixed in there with dung, with human refuse, all deliberately put in there, not an accidental dung heap, but a place that human beings said, we're going to make this ground fertile, because rainforest soils are not particularly fertile. The fertility of the Amazon comes entirely from the fall of leaves onto the soil. It refertilizes itself. But to grow crops on the Amazon is a very different prospect. And this is where terra preta really comes into its own. And I've been standing in a pit with an archaeologist there, a terra preta pit.